So the next job on the list is to get all the seat box out. You can see the seats are actually pretty good condition. Got a bit of paint on there, but that'll come off. What I plan to do is take the whole seat box out, repaint it in deep bronze green like I've been doing the rest of the vehicle. And the seat rails, I'm going to take all these out and paint these black, because I'm pretty sure they would have been black originally. So that's the intention. As you can see, it's a bit of a mess. Hopefully we'll get that sorted out in this video. So the first thing I need to do is get the seat frame out. The driver's seat is on a runner, so I need to get these four out, and then we'll see what happens after that. So it's raining outside, so I'm taking advantage of not having a floor. So that's the seat rails off, or at least the top half of it. The runners are still on, but these look a bit more difficult to get off. So I think what I might do is just remove the whole seat box and take these runners off once it's out. I've got good access to the nuts and bolts along here now. As you can see, this is obviously original paint on the tub, but I am going to rub that back and give that a paint as well. So the plan is to get all of this interior part done in a nice new deep bronze green. I will be leaving the tub in its patina because it looks really nice. So I think before I start removing these in the seat box, I might give this a quick clean out. So I've come across my first problem. These are the last two that I need to get out. A little bit awkward getting around there, but you can't seem to get up underneath. But I don't have a second fuel tank in here, so I could get my hand around. On this side, we've got the fuel tank, so I can't get my hand down here to get a spanner on the back of these. And I don't seem to be able to get my hand up the back here. It's very, very tight. So after a bit of fiddling, I managed to get that off. It's just a case of getting the right size extension bars up behind here so you can get onto the nut, and that's it off. So there we go, that's the seat box off. I was lucky that the previous owner hadn't put all of the nuts and bolts in, so I literally just had to take the two off each side here and all of the ones along the back here, which attach to the bulkhead over there. So the plan is to strip this down, take all these rails off, sand it back and get it painted deep bronze green. And this is what it looks like without the seat box. It's the first time I've seen this actually. So all of this is going to get cleaned up and painted. I'll probably take these old military attachments off because I'm not going to use them. Give it a good sand and clean up. Chassis good as I knew. What I might do is just wash it down and just give it another coat while I'm in here. It doesn't need it really, although there is a little bit of rust starting to show through on here a bit. You can see the gearbox, that's for another day, that's not coming out. I'm of the understanding that it's absolutely fine, but I am going to clean it all up. I'll probably take all these covers off and paint them black and clean all this up. I'm going to take this apart and re-grease it and make sure that all this is nice and free and working properly. Clean all the gear stick and paint that, and obviously take this back plate off, clean this, check that there's no leaks around there. So basically just give it all a good clean up, but that's not going to happen for a while yet. So all these other seat rails came out really easily. They were just nuts and bolts, so a spanner and socket on them, absolutely no bother. This one here was in with screws and nuts on the other side, and I don't think it's been out for a long time, and I just couldn't get any purchase on it with a screwdriver. So what I used there was some heat, which just, as you can see, got them off really easy. And what I used was this little heat gun. It's a plumber's gun. This one's a Rothenberger one, really good reputation. You don't need to spark light it. It's got its own ignition on there, and it's MAP Pro. You get these from any good plumbing supplies, really handy to have. So that's the seat box out and stripped. I'm not going to take these latches off because they're all riveted in. I know I could. I'm actually out of drill bits at the minute. I've snapped loads trying to take rivets out of there, so I'm actually just going to leave them in. These are galvanized, so I'll just put some paint stripper on and clean them up and just carefully mask them off and paint around them. There's obviously 3 of them, but apart from that, it's all stripped. So the next job is to sand it back, get these cleaned up, sand it back, and then paint it. I've masked off around these old galvanized rusty catches they're not going to be cleaned up too much. I quite like the old rusty look of the galvanized steel. It's got a bit of character, so I'll be leaving that like that. So as you can see, this is ready for paint. So that's the inner bulkhead of the tub, prepped ready to have a etch prime put on it. It's a little bit of a shame because this is actual real patina, and it's the original colour that the car was painted in. The army never painted the inside of them, I don't think. So that is going to be a little bit of history lost as I paint over that in deep bronze green. But no fear, I'm not going to be, sorry it's full of junk, but there's a really nice patina in the tub and I'm not going to be painting over that. So I do want to keep some of its paintwork history. To be honest, if the previous owner hadn't painted it in this NATO green or whatever it is, and rubbed all this down, I probably would have loved to have kept it with a original patina like this, but that's not the case. So all of the cab area is getting tidied up with a lick of new paint. Okay, so that's it ready for painting now. It's 2 o'clock in the afternoon here, so I'm not going to actually start painting it now because I want the temperature to stay higher for longer. We're in the northeast of UK and the temperature at the minute is only around about 18 degrees through the day, which is a good enough temperature for this paint to go off and dry. But if I was to do it now, the temperature is going to drop well below 13 degrees in about 6 hours time, and I want to give it all day to dry. So first thing tomorrow morning I'll come out and I'll hand paint this with a brush and roller with the deep bronze green, and then it'll have all day to dry. Okay, so what I've done is I've made a little makeshift painting bay here in the back of the 109. I've sealed the back off there because we've got the wind coming in and I don't have a full door on there at the moment. Cleaned it out. Don't know if you can see, but I've got like a protective floor on, and I've got my seat box here, which we're going to paint. So it's a little bit breezy today, so I'm nice and enclosed in here. I need to get in and out quick because the fumes are probably going to be quite bad, but this means there'll be no dust or flies or anything getting on it. So hopefully it should be a good job. So as you can see, I've just done the top. It's nice and wet still at the minute, super shiny. You can see the brush strokes there, but hopefully they'll come out as it sits there, and the paint slowly expands out, and that'll be a nice finish when it's done. Right, what I'm going to do is leave this for now. I'm just going to leave that. I'm going to hop over there and I'm going to paint the bulkhead. Not that bulkhead, the tub bulkhead. So you can see that's come out all right. Pretty happy with that. Still got the sides here to do, but that's I'll do that when I do the plates that go on here. I haven't done these plates yet either, but you can see I've got a few bad runs in some places. This is going to be drilled out and taken off anyway, because I'm not going to be having a middle seat, so I just sand this back slightly and just give it a quick go over with a brush and it'll be fine. But it's looking really good, happy with that. Okay, so that's it done. As you can see, it looks pretty good. I'll show you in a minute with all the seats in. I've obviously painted these rails up in black. And on this side, you can see the driver's seat has a sliding rail, so you can adjust the seat backwards and forwards. I've just taken these back to bare metal because I think they look better like that rather than painting them. Back's all done. The galvanizing is all cleaned. Seat brackets look much better, so I'm really happy with that. I'm not fastening any of it in at the minute. As you can see, I haven't put the nuts and bolts back through any of it. I've got a couple of nuts and bolts on the back just holding it kind of in place, and none of it's being fastened in because it all needs to come out again when I decide to tackle cleaning up the gearbox and transfer box. So there's no point in fastening all that back in. But I'm going to put the seats on so you can have a look at it with the seats done. So there you go, that's the interior done. I hope you enjoyed that small project. The next one I'll be doing is I'll be onto the doors, and then I think that's pretty much it for all of the painting. That'll be the bodywork done, and I'll move on to something else. So if you're enjoying the rebuild, don't forget to click the like button, hit the subscribe, leave a comment if you wish, and we'll see you in the next video.